My floors were my greatest assets. I was 285. I came out 218, 215. Right. I had the best 3 years of my life in prison.
Mike Tyson entered prison weighing 285 pounds and terrified. 3 years later, he walked out at 215 pounds in the best shape of his life, with zero equipment and no coach. Here are the 5 exercises he used to rebuild himself from a cell floor. There was no gym, no coach, no equipment of any kind, just a cell, a yard, and 5 exercises he repeated until they rebuilt him from the inside out. And while these 5 moves built the muscle, there was one specific routine that stripped away 70 pounds of fat. I'll show you that at the end. Here is exactly what he did. Exercise 1, sit-ups. Tyson did 2,000 sit-ups in a day. Most people would struggle to reach 100 without stopping, and Tyson was doing 20 times that on a cell floor with nothing underneath him. Here is the part that makes it possible. He never did them in one sitting. He broke them into small pieces and scattered them across the day, a set here, a set there, morning until lights out. He described his training life as one continuous process rather than a workout with a start and a finish.
I get up in the morning, I run 4 miles, then I walk 10 miles. Later on that day, I come back from my walk and I do 2,500 sit-ups.
That is the whole secret of the number. 2,000 looks impossible as one block. Broken into 40 sets of 50, it becomes something a determined person can actually sustain. That is the difference between a workout and a routine. So what does that volume actually build? Not a six-pack, at least not first. What it builds is a core that can keep working when everything else in the body is exhausted. Think of your midsection as the link between your upper body and your lower body. Every ounce of force you generate with your legs has to travel through your core before it reaches your hands. If that link gets tired, the force leaks out on the way through. A tired core means weak punches. Think of it like this. Your core is the bridge. If the bridge is shaky, the car isn't getting across. Now, let's look at how he handled the upper body. Exercise 2, push-ups. 500 push-ups a day, broken into sets of 50. That was the standard he had carried since he was a teenager, and it was the standard he kept behind bars. But the interesting part is not the number. It is how he got himself to do it. He turned it into a bet. Instead of gambling for money with the people around him, he gambled for repetitions.
Do some push-ups. Me and my friends, and we would gamble. Instead of gambling for money, we would gamble for push-ups.
Focus on that for a second, because it is one of the most useful things in this entire story. He did not rely on motivation. He built a small, competitive game into his day so that the work happened whether he felt like it or not. Losing meant push-ups. Winning meant watching someone else do push-ups. Either way, the work got done, and it stopped feeling like work. Physically, this is the exercise that built the frame everybody noticed when he came out. A push-up trains your chest, the front of your shoulders, and the back of your arms all at once. And because your body is a rigid plank from your heels to your head, your core is holding tension the entire time. There is no isolation happening here. It is one movement that asks your whole upper half to cooperate. For a fighter, that specific pattern matters more than it looks. A punch is a pushing action. The chest and triceps are what extend the arm and put weight behind it. 500 repetitions a day trains those muscles to fire fast, without slowing him down. And you do not need a bar, a bench, or a machine. You need a floor. He had exactly that, and he made it enough. Once the sun went down and the doors locked, the training shape changed entirely. Exercise 3, jumping. After lights out, in a room roughly the size of a parking space, Tyson jumped, without rope. Most people treat jumping as a 2-minute warm-up. Tyson treated it as the session, doing it for 4 hours.
And at nighttime, I run for 4 hours just in my room, jumping a step like this, just jumping up.
Jumping trains something which the first 2 exercises cannot touch. Sit-ups and push-ups build muscles that push and hold. Jumping builds the springs. Every time your feet leave the ground and land again, your calves, Achilles tendons, and the connective tissue through your legs are being taught to absorb force and immediately return it. That's what gives an athlete that explosive, springy power. It is also the reason every boxing gym on earth has jump ropes hanging on the wall. That single movement builds rhythm and the ability to stay light on your feet. Tyson had no rope, so he removed the rope and kept the movement. But Tyson didn't just use the space to get off the ground. He used the floor itself to map out his entire fighting style. Exercise 4. The cell floor. This is the one nobody believes at first. Tyson stepped through the same foot positions in his cell so many thousands of times that the concrete itself began to wear into the shape of his feet.
In my cell, right, is a concrete floor, right? I indented it, my feet.
Oh, your feet. Oh.
He did not have equipment, so he made equipment out of the room. Those marks became his map. Every day he returned to the same positions, the same angles, the same steps. You have probably seen coaches roll out a flat agility ladder on a field, with squares laid out for athletes to step through at speed. The purpose is to train the feet to find exact positions quickly and accurately until that movement becomes natural. That is precisely what he built, with nothing but a floor. This is how you train your body to move without thinking. For a fighter, that automation is everything, because a fight moves faster than conscious thought. The man who has to think about where his feet go is the man getting hit while he thinks about it. Years later, Tyson said something about that period that reframes the whole story.
I tell everybody, my floors are my greatest assets.
Exercise 5. Running. Every morning, out in the yard, Tyson ran, not sprints, long, steady miles, the same loop in whatever weather the day handed him.
Running, I do 8-9 miles around.
8 to 9 miles is more distance than most people cover in a full week. This is the exercise that explains the number on the scale. When you run at a steady pace for that long, your body eventually stops relying on quick fuel and starts pulling from stored fat instead. Do that daily and the effect compounds. Your heart gets stronger and pumps more blood with every beat. Your lungs get more efficient. Your legs build lean muscles. But there was something happening on those runs that had nothing to do with weight. Before prison, Tyson had been the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and the pressure of holding that identity was tearing him apart in ways nobody could see.
I was so stressed out being the champ, my hair was falling out.
In the yard, none of that existed. Just a man and the sound of his feet. So, what do you actually take from this? The easy version is that you do not need a gym. Tyson proved that more convincingly than anyone, with a concrete floor and a prison yard. Sit-ups for a core that never quits. Push-ups for a frame that pushes. Jumping for legs that spring. Footwork for feet that think for themselves. Running for the engine underneath all of it. Start smaller than he did. Break the exercises across your day, not doing all at once. If this video gives you something you can actually use, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more people. And tell me in the comments which of the 5 you are starting tomorrow. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this one.